hello, it is I, Dr. Cinema. Sorry I haven't uploaded a video in the last few days. Been kind of busy with college stuff and such. But today I want to talk about Nightmare on Elm Street again. Now I know I've already talked about Elm Street a fair amount already with my video on the ranking of the films, the play-by-play review of Elm Street 5, and of course the most recent movie face-off, Nightmare on Elm Street vs. Hellraiser. But today I want to talk about the first sequel of the Elm Street series, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. And I want to ask the question. It's something that's been thinking about, bugging me the past couple days. Is it underrated? Well, after the success of the first original Elm Street movie, they decided to make a sequel. However, Wes Craven does not return back as a screenwriter or as a director. However, of course, like most of the Elm Street movies, Robert Englund comes back as Freddy Krueger. And so they decided to do things a little bit differently. How so, you may ask? Well, it's focused on a new family, a family that moved into the Nancy Thompson house after the events of the first Elm Street movie, and it focuses not on the girl this time, but on a boy. And right here is the first big difference. Most horror films usually focus on the girl, also known as the good girl, the virgin, non-drug using good girl that's seen in most horror movies, especially slashers. However, we're focused on a guy with a girlfriend. It's never really said exactly how far they've gone, but I'm just going to assume they really haven't had sex. And here's another really, really big difference in this film that I have to address. The whole homosexual subtext of the film. There's the obvious ones, such as where Jesse ends up at a gay club, I guess it is. He meets his gym coach who punches him by making him run laps around the track and such. But there are other little bit more subtle differences, a little more subtle subtext in there in terms of homosexuality, such as the one scene where Jesse's making out with his girlfriend, but of course Freddy Krueger starts doing stuff, so he runs away from making out with his girlfriend to the house of his best friend. But there's a lot of this in this movie, and honestly, I can't really go over all of it in this video. I've already done a video talking about horror in general and the LGBT community, so you watch that to get a better idea of how homosexuality plays within the genre. But another big difference in this movie is that instead of Freddy Krueger just simply going into people's dreams and killing them, he does it a little bit different in this one. Instead of trying to kill Jesse, he actually sort of uses Jesse as a human vessel in order to expand his territory. Although I don't really know why you need to expand your territory in the physical world, since it's the dream world, but whatever. So there's a lot of different stuff in this movie, which is actually a nice change of pace. With most horror sequels, they're generally just redoing what worked in the most successful movies and just slightly altering it where they say, oh, it's different now. But this movie actually really tries to be different. I mean, it's so different, in fact, that Freddy's Revenge, along with Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, focus on characters that are never really referenced in any of the other Elm Street movies. However, unlike Freddy's Dead, the worst Elm Street movie, with Freddy's Revenge, they try to connect it by having Jesse discover Nancy's diary, a diary that was never seen in the original film, but again, whatever. They did a lot of different stuff, and it has caused some controversy and such, especially with the people that worked on the film, the main actor who played Jesse, as well as the screenwriters, and maybe even the director as well. There's been a lot of talk surrounding this movie, and a lot of debate over the quality of it and the specific stuff in the movie. And the only other horror movie that's another installment in the franchise I can think of that's gotten this sort of talk is Rob Zombie's Halloween movie. Now, I hate Rob Zombie's Halloween remake, but there is something that has to be said to the fact that it's still being argued about to this day. I mean, you got the people that really hate it, but you got some people that really love it. And really, to have it being argued to that fiercely really speaks to that there's actually effort put into parts of this movie, if not the entire thing. And the similar things can be said about Freddy's Revenge. They're really doing something different, making it their own film. And I've really got to admire it for that. Now, of course, in my video where I rank all the Elm Street movies, Freddy's Revenge lands in the middle of the ranking. Like, definitely not the worst, not by far. But there are still a few Elm Street movies that I prefer over this one. But I don't know, there's really something about this movie that's just endearing, that actually is quite remarkable. So, and I think I've heard there are rumors about rebooting the Elm Street franchise again, and if that's true, I kind of want them to focus on Jesse's story. We've seen the Nancy Thompson storyline and her stories several times in the past. I think it's time to revisit Jesse and sort of like retell his story in a modern setting, which is very interesting considering how different the LGBT culture is right now compared to what it was like in the 1980s. So, I think this is actually a really underrated film, and I encourage you to check it out. Oh yeah, that's right. You like women. Never mind. Never mind. So that's the diagnosis on Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. What do you guys think of this movie? It's often called the gay one. So, what are your thoughts about the whole subtext of the whole movie? Let me know down below. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Dr. Cinema. See you next